Good evening, and since I'm from Hawaii, aloha. Like Young Kim, I just so deeply appreciate this incredible award, and in all honesty, I'm a little embarrassed to accept it because I just think that there are so many deserving people in Congress that could just as easily have gotten this. And because I look around the room and I think about your past awardees, and so many of them were my mentors, people that I looked up to and still look up to for the principles of the former members of Congress. And I'm really, really honored to share this with my colleagues, Senators Booker, Young, thank you so much. And of course, Representative Kim, as you leave for that other side of the aisle, for your partnership. She always gets embarrassed when I say this, but she said it herself. She's actually a product of Hawaii, spent her teenage years, graduated from high school in Hawaii. I think she doesn't like me to say that because somehow it's going to take away from California, but that's cool. And so you have really two products of Hawaii here tonight, and so I think maybe there's something in the water out there that lends itself to some of what we're all doing here. And really, a really special mahalo to the former members of Congress for all that you do to keep the flame of representative democracy alive, you know, in this country and throughout this world. Incredible work. And as has already been pointed out, I have a somewhat checkered relationship with the former members of Congress. I actually had to write it down because it got so confusing. When I was a member the first time, 2002 to 2007, I didn't want to be a former member of Congress. Later on, I became a former member of Congress, but I didn't want to be a former member of Congress then. After I got over all of that and settled back into my other life, I welcomed the opportunity to be a former member of Congress, participated in the programs, and really enjoyed myself until a former member of Congress, a member of this association, talked me into running for office again. Now I'm back in office and I'm not ready to be a former member of Congress again. So if you can sort all of that out, let me know at some point. You know, some say that statesmanship is a lost art. Some say that statesmanship is outdated, that it doesn't matter anymore, that in this day of incredible polarization and division and really government by combat, there's no place for statesmanship, and we reject that. We reject that. We have to reject that, and we do reject that. And we do that because we know that the only real way forward for this country, the only real way forward for this country is the art of governing for pragmatic and practical solutions, to seek consensus where we can, and where we can't, to allow the institutions of representative democracy to guide us in our divisions, our discussions, and our disagreements, and our decisions. That's what representative democracy is. And representative democracy is hard work. Polarization and division is much easier, to be honest. All you have to do is be against everything. Representative democracy is something different. We carry that flame here, and that flame has to be carried consciously every single day, and it has to be projected out around our country and around our world. And I am very, very honored to receive this award for many who believe in what I just said, and I'm very, very honored to do the good work with all of you going forward. Mahalo.